Anyway, I want to start this off with Dayton Moore to have a little comment about Alex and his career, followed by Mike Matheny, and then we'll have Alex with a statement, and then we will take your questions. So, Dayton, thank you very much for joining us. It's all yours.
Thanks, Swanee, and welcome to everybody. And, you know, it's hard to put moments like this into words. But the first thing that I thought of when Alex called me about a week ago is how thankful we all are to Alex for the great example that he has set his entire career. We all recognize the accomplishments. That's forever in history, forever in the record books. We can go on and on about what he's accomplished on the field. But I think all of us who have followed his career, admired his career, are blessed to know him and to have interacted with him. We know how special he is, how committed he is in all aspects of his life. He truly represents what a baseball player is and should always be. And again, I just want to say thank you to Alex, thankful for Jamie, Max, and Sam and Joey, who have allowed us to share in Alex's life. He's given us all a great gift, and that is simply the ability to watch him perform at a sport that he loves, the sport that he gave everything, every single moment. I've never been around anybody as committed as Alex Gordon. And truly special to have been able to watch him play baseball and honor his mother and his father, and to be the husband and the father that he is, and the great teammate and the great representative of our game, our team, and our city. So thank you to Alex, and I look forward to the next phase of his life and continuing a wonderful relationship.
Mike?
Hard to follow that up, and obviously a really long relationship between Dayton and Alex. But for myself, the privilege and pleasure of being able to get an up close and personal look at the person and the player of Alex Gordon. From across the field, you always had to have deep respect and admiration for the way Alex played the game, but also for how he just wore the jersey and how he was one of the kind of players that would embody a style and an expectation that comes with excellence, that comes with the brand of the Kansas City Royals. And, you know, coming in, always trying to figure out what each player is, what's their makeup, what makes them go, how are they driven, what are their assets, their strong suits, and how they go about their business. And the stats all speak for themselves, but what a gift it was to be able to watch Alex from the inside and to see, and this word will keep coming up, his impact. And the way that he goes about his business, the way that he works, that's all really well documented. I don't think what is as reported is the care level he has for the game, for himself, for the Kansas City Royals, for his teammates, and for this community. And that to me is a combination that's very rare when you talk about people that leave a long legacy of an expectation moving forward. He's set the bar extremely high for everybody walking through these doors that are going to put on this uniform. And it has been an honor and a pleasure to be able to get to know the person more so than the player. And I just want to thank Alex for the impact that he's made around here and the impression and the impact that he's made on me.
Gordo, you're on.
Yeah. I want to first start off by thanking all of you for being on the Zoom call. I wish we could be in person, but knowing, this kind of a year, the situation we're dealing with, this is kind of what we're having to work with. So thank you for all of you being here and all of your guys' support over the years. You guys have always been great to me, and I've tried to do the same for you guys too. So I want to start off by thanking Dayton. I've been with Dayton since day one. He's just a perfect leader for this organization, and not only being my boss, but just being a great person to look up to and respect in every aspect of his life. How he treats people, how he handles everybody in that clubhouse is something that a lot of people don't see, but is amazing. And you kind of get a glimpse of it when you get older veteran players that come through the clubhouse that have been with other GMs and other clubs and just have nothing but great things to say about Dayton, and how he treats them off the field, and how he respects every player. I've been fortunate enough to only deal with him, and I think that's a blessing and something that I'll never forget. And even though my baseball career is over, I still got 4 more games, but I'm really looking forward to a lot of the friendships that happen, when this game is over. And I know me and Dayton are going to stay close and going to stay in touch over the years. So thank you, Dayton, for everything you've done for me throughout my career. You've always stuck with me through the good times and the bad times, and I owe a lot to you, for my career. So I could probably talk for a while about you, just how much you mean to me, but I just want to say thank you, Dayton. Matheny, I kind of grew up playing against you with the Cardinals. I think you look a lot better in blue now. I know everybody here in Kansas City thinks so too. I know it's only been 1 year, but I wish it was longer. You've been great for this team. Just your leadership, your drive, your energy, the kind of man you are on and off the field, I can't speak highly enough of. And when Ned left, I wasn't sure about how this organization was going to move on from Ned, just with everything we've done. But if there was some guy that was going to do it, it was going to be you. So I'm looking forward to seeing you and this team succeed over the next few years. I know it's going to come quicker than people expect. I know me and you both agree with that. And I'm looking forward to sitting back on my couch drinking a beer and watching Whit, Duffy, and yourself do some special things here. So thanks for the short time. It was a blast, and like I said about Dayton, we'll stay in touch for after this too. So thank you for the kind words. Now that being said, I want to thank some people, my family first and foremost. You guys all know who you are. Thank you for all your sacrifices, all your commitment for me throughout my life. As a little kid, this is what I wanted to do. Growing up, I remember, I think it was 1st or 2nd grade, I told my teacher I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player, and sure enough, it happened. And it doesn't happen without my family and everything they've done for me throughout my life. And I especially want to thank my wife Jamie, my 2 boys Max and Sam, my little girl Joey. They mean everything to me, and this was kind of a big reason why I kind of wanted to retire. I just wanted to spend more time with them. This game has been great for me over my career. But at the same time, I'm very blessed to do this, very blessed to do it as long as I have with the same organization. But it does take away a lot of family time, and it's kind of a bittersweet moment for me because I'm sad. I'm going to miss my teammates in there and everything, and competing with them. But at the same time, I'm excited to the next chapter in my life, and spending a lot of time with those kids and my wife. So Jamie, you've been my rock through all of this. You've been with me since day one, through the good times and the bad. Anytime, I needed some guidance or someone to pick me up, you were always there, and you always had the right things to say. So none of this would have been possible without you, Jamie. So love you, and thank you for everything. I want to thank my teammates. A couple of them are here right now: Greg, Duffy, Witt, all those guys in those clubhouse. This morning I've been getting texts, left and right, and everything means so much from everybody. But the things that really touch my heart is when guys like Witt, guys like all these guys on Instagram give me a shout out. And I'm not a very emotional person, but for some reason when they say something, it just means a little bit more, and kind of tears me up a little bit. So my wife always gives me a hard time because I never cry, but they kind of got me a little bit when I started reading those things that they said. So those guys in that clubhouse right now, past and current, they mean everything to me. I know when I first started playing, the biggest thing that I wanted to do was be a good teammate. I came in with guys like Reggie Sanders, Mike Sweeney, Mark Gruzlonic, and they were all great teammates, and they kind of set a standard that that's kind of how I wanted to be. Just whatever happened, good or bad, I just wanted to be the best teammate I could be to all those guys, and they showed the same for me over my career. So I want to thank all of them for all the hard work they've put in, and all the sacrifices they've made to help me throughout my career, and I'm gonna miss them more than they know. So not only them, the coaching staff, all the work that they've put in, like I said, past and current, has meant a lot to my career. The Rusty Kuntz, the Pedro Grafals, the Kevin Seitzers. I wish I could thank everybody, but without them, this isn't possible. So I want to thank them. I want to thank the trainers, the clubhouse personal attendants in there, everybody in that clubhouse. Just I can't thank them enough for everything they've done for me throughout my career. So I want to thank the fans and the community of Kansas City. You guys have always been great to me since day one. You've always shown me a lot of love. We had Gordon Nation in left field. That was some good times, and I'll never forget that. Throughout the good times and the bad times, team-wise and me personally, you guys were always cheering us on, and I'll never forget that. So I'll never forget 2014 and 2015. The kind of support you guys gave us throughout those championship runs was. I know Duffy and Greg, who are sitting here with me, we'll never forget it. It was something special, and I'm hoping that these guys in the clubhouse now can feel that, because the city of Kansas City, when we're playing well, it's something special, and even when we're not playing well, they're showing love. So I just want to thank the city of Kansas City. I've kind of grown up here over the years. I've built a home here. My family lives here. Our kids go to school here. So even though, my baseball career here in Kansas City is over, I'm looking forward to, being a fan and being part of this Royals organization somehow throughout my life. So, yeah. When I started playing this, I just wanted to be, I just wanted everyone to see me as, a hard worker, someone that played the game the right way, and somebody, like I talked about earlier, was a good teammate. And hopefully, I'm leaving my legacy like that. Hopefully when people think about me, they think of me, as someone that just left it all on the line, before the game, after the game, and was always a good person to everybody in that clubhouse. So I'm hoping that's kind of how people think of me when I'm done. And like I said, I just want to thank everybody for all their support and everything over the years. So thank you guys.
All right. We're going to take a few questions. We got about 20 minutes here. Because of the numbers we have, we're not going to be able to get to everybody, but please raise your hand. We will unmute you. Jeffrey Flanagan, you've started every press conference for as long as the stadium's been standing, so we'll let you start this one.
Hey, I wanted to start with Dayton. You've always said through the years that you don't like to mix business with your personal relationships with player, but Alex, we know has always been something special and an exception for you. Can you just comment on that and what he's meant to you personally too?
Well, I say that, and those of you that know me know that's probably not always the case, right? But like I said in my opening remarks, I mean, there's very difficult to articulate your feelings and your emotions at a time like this. But Alex has set the bar on the field, off the field. His work ethic and his commitment truly has reached legendary status here in this organization. It is the model. And when we draft players, sign players, the makeup of Alex Gordon and how he exemplifies what a baseball player is and should be is something that we all try to identify with and try to continue to acquire players like that and reflect his talent. But, you know, when I think of this journey, Flanny, I think of Allard Baird and Derek Ladnier, who drafted Alex. I think of Mr. Glass and Dan Glass, who allowed us to continue to sign Alex. You know, we signed him to 2 multi-year contracts. That doesn't happen unless we have ownership that supports us. I think of Mr. Sherman, who was very adamant that we bring Alex, do everything we can to get Alex back, assuming he wanted to continue to play because we knew he could still play. So he means so much to all of us. And the exciting thing for me, how we process and move on, is the fact that we get a chance to continue our relationship. And Alex knows that he's forever a part of this organization. And the friendship is simply just beginning. And that's how I process it, Flanny.
Joel?
Alex, congrats. It's been a pleasure every day. How tough was this? I think anybody that knows you said, even we don't know. That's what they've been saying for over a year. So how hard was this decision, and when did it become clear to you?
Yeah, it's hard. I think any baseball player could probably say that. You know, you grow up playing this game, and this is a game you love. So to kind of come to that day when you know it's over, even though we have 4 games, it's hard. I kind of thought about it a little bit last year, but you know, one of the things that brought me back this year was, you know, I love those guys in the clubhouse. I loved competing with them. I love going out to dinner with them, even though we couldn't really do it this year. It was a little different, but that's one of the reasons I came back, is just because my teammates, and you know, I felt like this team was, you know, on the cusp of you know, winning again, and I wanted to be a part of it. So, you know, I started thinking about it a little bit last year, and that kind of brought me back. But you know, after the whole shutdown, once we kind of got back going, I kind of knew that this was it, and I didn't really want to, you know, say anything to anybody. But if my teammates asked me, I was gonna let them know. I wasn't gonna lie to them. So you know, I kind of knew this whole season. I wanted to keep it as quiet as I could until, you know, towards the end of the season. I didn't want to say anything until the season was over or we were eliminated. So, you know, after that happened, I just thought it was right to do it probably on the last series of the year. And yeah, here we are.
Lynn Worthy?
Gordo, first of all, congratulations. Second, what was it about now that that made this the right time? Like in the last few months, I think we'd heard you talk about maybe even wanting to be a couple more years, and see this team get back to the playoffs. It seemed like you were, sort of talking about, finishing this year strong and building momentum. But at the same time, I know we talked to you in July and you talked about the time that you did get to spend with your family being something that maybe changed perspective. So what was it that made this the deciding factor right now?
Yeah, at the time, Lynn, I was just feeding you lies, so just to keep you off me. No, but in all seriousness, it was really my family. I've never really had a summer with my family, and not that it was a typical summer, but just to be home and kind of hang out by the pool, do stuff that I've never been able to do before, was kind of eye-opening for me. And now that my oldest son is 10, my other boy's 7, they're starting to play sports. I'm starting to miss a lot of things. Not that I'm going to miss this game, but I feel like at the end of the day, I'm missing my kids and their activities more than I'm going to miss this. So it's like I said when I was talking earlier, it's kind of bittersweet because this is hard for me to do. This is what I've always done my whole life, but at the same time, I'm excited to be around my family and be around my kids and just catch up on stuff that I've missed all my life. This game has given me so much, but at the same time, these guys know what I'm talking about. Just traveling, being in hotels, being in a suitcase, playing every day. It does take away a lot from the family, so I'm excited to catch up on that missed time.
Alec?
Gordo, congrats. How appreciative are you that you were able to wear this jersey, this specific jersey, the one you grew up watching for as long as you did?
Yeah, very fortunate, very lucky that I was first of all given this opportunity. I was a little kid in Nebraska playing baseball, wanted to just play for any MLB team possible, but being fortunate and lucky enough to get drafted by the team you grew up watching was pretty ideal, I would say. And then to be able to play your whole career with that team, I'm very, like I said, very humbled by that, very fortunate and blessed. And I got to thank Dayton for all he's done for me. He could have, looking back on my career, I feel like he could have given up on me 3 or 4 times, and he's never did. So I owe a lot to him for that, and I hope he knows that. And I feel like I've told him it a couple times, but without him, I probably wouldn't be sitting here saying my whole career was with Kansas City. So I'm truly blessed to have him as a GM and my boss pretty much.
Sam, did I see your hand go up? I don't mean to call you out. Yeah, Sam Mellor, please.
Yeah. Hey, Alex. Congrats. Very cool. I wanted to ask you about kind of what's next. I mean, I assume you want to disconnect a little bit and be with your family for a while. But I think you said, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you said you wanted to be involved with the Royals at some point. I mean, do you have any idea of what form that would be or what you want to do?
Well, first and foremost, I'm going to whip up the golf clubs and start practicing. And Whit and Greg Hollander are sitting right here. Give me about a year, and I'm going to take them off on the golf course and finally be able to beat them. So that's goal 1, I would say. I don't know what the future holds. I know I want to take some time off, and not really do anything but spend it with my family, and then kind of readjust from there. But just Kansas City is my hometown. This is where I live. This is where my family goes to school, plays sports, does all that. So I'm going to be around. So hopefully, in some capacity, I'll be involved with the Royals. I don't know how that's going to work out right now. Haven't really thought about that. More thinking about just taking some time off and being with my family right now. So I'm sure in the long run that will get all figured out. But right now it's family and beating Whit and Greg and golf.
Todd Lebo.
Hey, Alex, you mentioned Dayton's belief in you. It wasn't always easy. You had to go down to the minors and kind of reinvent yourself. What do you think inside you was able to make that happen? And how much did like Dayton's belief and the organization's belief in you make you be able to get through that and get to this point? And then I also wanted to ask if you're going to let yourself go, you're going to start eating French fries, how's that going to go for you on the diet?
Definitely probably Minsky's Pizza on the last day of the year. My kids have been begging me, so I'll probably binge a little bit of that on Sunday. So that's the question, or that's the answer to that question. All I've been thinking about is pizza. So what was the other question you asked?
The organization's belief in you when you had to go down and switch positions and work through all that, and what inside you allowed you to do that, and then how much was their belief in you helpful in that capacity?
I would say, at that time in my career, I think it was 2009, I had the hip surgery, and then 2010 broke my hand and then had the position change. But I think that gives credit to my mom and dad throughout my life. They've always taught me hard work and to never complain and always stay positive. And that's kind of how I've looked at everything. And it's been kind of a great way to look at baseball. Just, it's a game of failure. And, the only way to, attack it is to be positive, keep your head up and keep working hard. So that was just kind of one point in my career where I had to make that challenge to myself, and that's kind of how I attacked it. So I give a lot of credit to my dad and my mom who raised me like that.
See a pizza commercial in your near future. Pete Gradoff.
Alex, thanks for doing this and congratulations. You mentioned the fans. Is it bittersweet at all that your last game will be in an empty stadium, particularly at home? And do you remember your first plate appearance at home?
Oh yeah, the first plate appearance, 2007. I was completely overwhelmed. I went from AA to the big leagues just like that, and it was opening day. I was batting 5-hole and came up with the bases loaded with 1 out, and I was just overwhelmed because I was seeing David Ortiz out there, Manny Ramirez were playing the Red Sox, and then obviously Curt Schilling was pitching. And I thought I had a pretty good at bat, 3-2 count, fouled up a couple fastballs, and then he threw his devastating splitter on me. And me being a rookie in that kind of a moment, kind of knew I was a little over aggressive, swung and missed, and got a standing ovation coming out and got a standing ovation going in. So I was like, hey, this is going to be pretty easy if I keep doing this. So it was great. It was a fun moment, and kind of started off my career slow, but I think Buddy Bell was our manager, and stuck with me, and kind of turned that season around. So it was a fun year to play with, not only play against guys like that, Curt Schilling, Manny Ramirez, those type of guys, but also in the clubhouse, the Mike Sweeneys, the Reggie Sanders, the Mark Ruzelanics. You really take all that in, and looking back on it now, it was truly something to be that I was glad to be a part of.
Who else? Do I see any more hands up? Bye. There you are.
Hey, Alex, happy for you. We've talked a little bit about all the ups and downs, and I wonder if, you might prefer to have everything go perfectly all along, but I wonder if you have a great appreciation of the journey because of the ups and downs, if it means more to you in a way.
I would have loved the journey if it was just all ups. That would have been great. But unfortunately, baseball's not like that. It's a game of failure, as I said, unless you're Witt, who hits 300 every year somehow and makes it look easy. But it's just about, we always talk about in the club, it's just about grinding through a season, always keeping your head up, not getting too high, not getting too low. And there is going to be ups and downs, but that's part of life, and you just have to keep pushing forward and keep working hard. And like I said earlier, it's just kind of my mentality of not feeling sorry for myself, and just going out there, putting in the work and overcoming whatever obstacles given to me in my way.
Have you had the sense that you've made for an example to some people that way, though, whether it's on the team or around baseball, that the perseverance is meaningful to others?
Yeah, I hope so. I think that's what's kind of hit me kind of hard today, just with announcing my retirement. Just all the thoughtful words said from all my past and current teammates has really meant a lot, and just not realizing how much you maybe mean to them and how much they make it seem like you did. So it's those are the things that kind of choke me up, and why this is such a special day, I think. Thanks.
Hello.
Go ahead, Karen.
Hi, Alex. What a privilege to watch your career over the years. I think I saw every day of it. That means I'm old. Anyway, just what are you most proud of? The great defense that you played, the assists, the numbers there, the switching positions, the being the leader in the clubhouse. Everybody to a fault said, nobody can outwork Alex. He works harder than anyone else. Legendary to not eat pizza and cheeseburgers. I mean, just the bar that you raised. Are you proud of that? Or the fact that you were key in helping this city experience another World Series? What do you think that you take great pride in as you say goodbye?
A couple of things. I think looking back on it now, like I said earlier, just being a great teammate. That's what I wanted to be in that clubhouse. Just treat everybody with respect and everybody the same way. And I think I kind of got that from Dayton, really, just how he goes about his business and how he treats everyone the same way. I don't think you could say that about every GM, but that kind of filters down to our clubhouse, and that's kind of how I wanted to be in that clubhouse. So looking back on it now, getting texts from, former teammates too, it's just, that's what I think means the most to me. But I would say the biggest thing is obviously coming into an organization that was losing 100 games every year. And, it wasn't just me, it was a lot of guys that had to make that turnaround, and then finally doing so in, 13, 14, 15. And, we'll never forget that, those years and those memories. It was something special to be a part of, and share it with all my teammates. And it was great.
And who do you pass the torch to? You have like a special hat or a special shirt that you kind of pass in the locker room?
I think there's a lot of guys. Obviously, Duffy's been leading the pitching staff with all of his experience. Witt's kind of taken over that leadership role, I would say, over the last couple of years, to be honest, just with his play on the field and his work ethic and just how he handles everyone in the clubhouse. But those two guys have been huge over the last couple of years for this team, just with their experience and what they do on the field. But I would say, the big one is Salvi. Getting Salvi back after, everything he's been through the last couple of years with the knee injury, then the Tommy John, and obviously the COVID this year. But just I talked about being a little kid, just loving baseball. That's what he is in the major leagues. His passion, love for the game is evident from the moment he comes in the clubhouse. He wants to just play well, do well, have the team be successful. And I think that we've missed that over the last couple of years, and it's great to have it back now, and especially when he's doing what he's doing on the field, producing the way he is. It's huge to have Salvi back in that role.
Thanks, Alex.
All right, let's give a traffic update here. I saw Danny and Bob with their hands up. We'll take those two questions. And then Dayton's going to stay on the call to take questions from everybody. And then when Dayton's done, we're going to bring Mike in, and we're going to just stay on this link to have Mike Matheny's pregame in here, and he can take your questions at that point. We'll let Alex go after these next two questions. So, Danny? We don't need Danny.
I got one.
Okay, there we go. Did that work?
You're on, Danny. There you go.
Okay. Gordo, what are you going to miss the most about everything that baseball has to offer and your teammates? Like, what is that one thing that you are leaving behind that you're going to miss?
I mean, there's a lot of things I think I'm going to miss from this game. Probably just relationships on a daily basis with my teammates. And, you know, throughout the year, I might spend more time with my teammates than I do my family. And they really become a huge part of your life. And especially when you're competing, you're going through the ups and downs with them. That's what I'm probably going to miss the most about leaving here. Hope, you know, the great thing about baseball is you get to leave these relationships after you get done playing. And I've made so many great friends over the years, and you know, hopefully we can continue those relationships down the road. But I'm going to miss, you know, grinding throughout the season with my teammates, competing, and just all the laughs and jokes that we have in that clubhouse.
Bob, and then we will go. Mick, I didn't realize you had one too. So Bob and then Mick, and then we'll let Alex go.
Alex, when we were doing the look back interviews over the summer and talking to a lot of the guys who were on that 2015 team, Drew Butera said the best thing, the coolest thing about winning the World Series was watching you eat pizza. He thought that was the greatest thing ever. So when you guys gather in the next 10, 15 years and you're telling stories, what's going to be like your go-to story, the number one thing you're going to remember from that run in 14 and 15 that you can't wait to talk about, even though maybe you've talked about it 100 times, but the kind of that one memory of that championship run?
Wow. Probably a lot of things I probably can't talk about on here, but just after that night, just being with my teammates, enjoying the, you know, all the times, like I said earlier, you know, all those guys that were on that team were on those teams that were losing 100 games a year. So to finally push through and in 14 and 15 and get that success that we had and have it together was something that you know, was really special. And I think it all came out after that 2015 championship, and you know, in New York, just after the game, just being together and hanging out in the hotel room together and enjoying the memories and enjoying the good times.
All right, Mick, you pull the curtain on this portion, please.
All right, we'll do. All right, Alex. They're probably going to build a statue for you at Kauffman Stadium. What pose would you like to be in for the statue?
I don't know about that. I'll go with, I think everybody knows what pose, maybe if that's what's going to happen, but Luke Ochever always used to say, Joel Goldberg will know this, TGM move, where I hit the wall and fall to the ground and lay there for about 10 seconds. So even though I know what you guys want it to be, I think that'd be kind of funny just to have me laying on the ground, knocked out or something from hitting the wall. I think that'd be a good statue.
He spent 5 minutes talking about that today, Gordo, the TGM.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Yeah, he always gave me a hard time about that.
His teammates in here love that one. Alex, I'm going to let you go. Get ready for tonight's ball game. I know you're in the lineup. Thank you, everybody.